Dave Hughes, who was also known by his nickname King of the Trolls, was the creator and star of what could be best described as the tabloid news YouTube channels Dave Hughes and Camo Dave. Mr. Hughes began his YouTube career in 2011 as an extension of his controversial DCR TV website, where he would comment on and report news mainly regarding Washington, D.C. media outlets with a focus on radio stations. In an article from the Washingtonian about Dave from 2011, quote, "If stirring up anger and fear is a measure of success, Hughes scores well. Does he piss people off?" asks a well-known TV personality, who requested anonymity. Sure. How could he not? In 2016, Mr. Hughes began uploading videos covering creators of recreational vehicle and urban exploration content. While finding acceptance at first from these creators and their fans, things quickly devolved when Mr. Hughes' videos became increasingly insulting and he allowed his comment sections to become a toxic place where internet trolls and cyber stalkers could organize attacks against and leave vile comments about creators and their families.
Our favorite chunky RVer dude from Seattle area is going to be leaving home.
His comment sections also became the go-to place for these trolls and stalkers to publish the personal information, also known as doxing, of creators, their friends, family members, and fans. Platforming trolls and stalkers after they had been banned elsewhere was key to the success of his channels. Hughes insisted that free speech rights trumped any concerns others may have had about his and his audience's comments. Consequently, other hate speech in his comments section was not uncommon, such as racism and anti-Semitism. In 2017, Dave Hughes created the Camo Dave channel in order to evade being banned from YouTube due to pressure from creators, their fans, and vigilante groups seeking to end the harassment coming from his followers. The name Camo Dave referred to his sexual fetish for military clothing. Due to further pressure, Mr. Hughes eventually agreed to moderate his comments section and begin banning some of his more vile commenters. The bans did not go over well with what had become his core audience, and he eventually replatformed them due to monetary concerns. Mr. Hughes again lost a large chunk of this audience when his hypocrisy was exposed regarding e-begging, as well as overly taking advantage of the generosity of one of his viewers on a trip to Florida. Mr. Hughes was also known to employ agent provocateurs when things were slow, to invent trouble between himself and creators in order to appear relevant to their channels. Due to strong opposition, Mr. Hughes eventually came to the conclusion that covering urban exploration channels as well as covering the videos put out by their trolls and stalkers was no longer worth the risk. At the time of his death, he was still trolling the RV community, although his relevance had fallen off due to infighting among his audience members. It is unknown at this time if Mr. Hughes' family will take down his channels or if they will remain up as a monument to one of the most toxic hate communities allowed to fester on YouTube.